back in round 5, only beaten by a point at the brick, but I get the feeling, Danny, we're watching a slightly different version of Wigan than we saw earlier in the year.
I was just going to say that, Mark. Wigan are in slightly different form, you know, on the back of some really good performances. I don't expect a stuttering Wigan today. I expect an on-fire Wigan.
Well, let's see then. York, who were well beaten at Hull KR last week, looking to bounce back. 1 win in 11. That did come here against Toulouse, though, back in April. Can they cause a huge upset? Jay Field and co will certainly be hoping not. And we're underway. The kick-off towards the near sideline has gone out on the full. Well, that is a rugby league disaster.
We were just talking about how important the start is for York. And then to actually kick the ball out on the full and do exactly the opposite. Everything that you'll have been speaking about in the week, in the changing rooms prior to coming out, would have been about physical, starting the game well, and then Harris kicking the ball out on the full. Not the ideal start for York.
You could have kicked it anywhere other than that, would have been better. And now Wigan already on the attack, and they are at the moment a try-scoring machine. Here's Sam Eze. He takes it forward, being announced he's going to Bradford, end of the year. And he'll want to end on a high with the Warriors, as now here's Smith, gets it away to Thompson, and an early test of York. It is a lovely warm day for watching rugby league. It's not so good to be in the heat of battle. Here's Smith, turns it back inside, and Partington, who's been in good form, is tackled 5 away. O'Neill's one-handed pickup. Here's Eze trying to reach for the line. Well, he got it over the line. As he got it down, as he grounded it, he slams it down, big Sam Eze. Well, the news, he was leaving the club this week. We said he's determined to go on a high, and he gets the opening try.
Yeah, it's not a great start here for York. Everything we've just spoke about prior, Mark, is about York starting this game well. You know, first mistake is kicking the ball out on the full, but then not being able to defend the line. Sam Eze, usually an interchange play, usually coming and adding impact there. Just carries the ball, just uses his strength, reaches out and puts the ball over the line. You know, the worst possible start for York.
Yeah, reached out. There were enough York bodies there, but they couldn't keep him out. And that is the first try, which is confirmed. And a disastrous start. But Sam Eze, well, he'll be looking at Havard getting that injury as an opportunity for him to pick up some real big game time. And
he has had to bide his time. He has had to wait for his opportunity at Wigan. You know, I loved it when he moved there. It showed that he had, you know, he wanted to grow as a player. And he's had some tough times there, but, you know, he's starting the game out there today, and he's had a real impact already.
Here's Kieran looking to add the extras. That stand behind the post is near enough packed, full of Wigan fans are all around us here. And Adam Kieran, who's operating 76%, will fancy adding 2 here.
Shot clock off.
There he goes, he's off and running. First successful kick, and it's 6 points to nil inside 2.5 minutes.
And we're just going to see the mistake now. We're going to see Liam Harris kick the ball out on the full. And obviously Wake we can take full advantage.
Yeah, they do. And this is it's inexcusable, isn't it, this?
It's inexcusable. It's everything that you'll have been talking about prior to the game, about starting well, starting with a big physical battle, and obviously then not being able to defend your line, compounding your errors.
Yeah, well, Wigan are hard enough to handle without inviting them in through an open door. Here's Thompson. He's back in the England fold. Brian McDermott naming 8 Wigan players in his 38-man preliminary squad for the World Cup. O'Neill, another one that's in it as well. Nice carry up the middle. I think you're right to mention the lack of size on the York bench. It's going to be a tough afternoon for those big men in the middle. Here's Wardle. He's tackled far side. Now they'll swing it across. Here's Farrimond. He's going to send up a kick. Mata Alpha will come and collect it. Gets off the ground, takes it finally. 3.5 minutes in, York get their first touch of the ball.
Yeah, and it's a great set after a try there from Wigan. Marching York down the field, just been nice and...
Look at this. This is risky and almost there. A gift for Zach Eckersley, who's just not quite tall enough. Well, talk about meeting fire with fire. This really was rolling the dice.
And that to me shows that York are probably not wanting that physical challenge. They're looking to move the ball early in the tackle count there. And it obviously nearly didn't come off there with Eckersley nearly having the intercept there.
That's the type of play you'd expect in the last 60 seconds if you'd fall behind, but not in the first 3 minutes. Well, they get the ball back rather fortuitously because Eckersley has been scoring tries for fun. And he nearly had a gift of one there. Inman will get it away. Here's Sam Wood. Now, I feel we need to talk about Sam Wood's haircut. What on earth's happened there?
It looks like a roll of the dice to me. It looks like he's obviously done something wrong in the week and he's had to dye his hair. A roll of the dice, it looks like to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the last one to criticise haircuts, but that is outrageous. Here come York now. Mata Afa. He's been a good recruit. He's gone well in the Super League. Played in the centre a couple of times as well.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him, Mark. I think he's added a different dimension to this York team. He's very physical. You know, he's up in the tackle bus in the competition. You know, he's a really tidy addition to this team.
Yeah, well, this fella's gone well as well. Jack Martin. Harris will send it high. It's a high kick over on the far side. Noah Hodkinson will take it. Full-back by trade. He collects it nicely and Wigan get it back. Not the worst set in the world from York.
Yeah, I think York just need to find the feet a little bit. Just start knocking some sets out. You know, just carry the ball, use the middles, and then just kick into the corners. Really start to find the feet a little bit.
Yeah, here's Eckersley. Another strong carry from him. O'Neill out of dummy half, and the meters just roll on by for him. Thought about an offload, couldn't get one away there.
6 again, too slow.
And now to Smith, finds Junior December. We've had a set restart, some more woe for York here, although even getting December over the sideline, not quite. Good effort. December will play it now. Here's Smith, swings it to Thompson. O'Neill to Farriman. Farriman with a host of runners. Here's Jay Field. Field gives it to Kieran. Kieran tried to step north for Luma, who did well to hold him up. But good strength from Kieran, keeps him in the field of play. Farrell. Farriman gets it away. O'Neill. O'Neill now finds Smith. Smith tries to stand up the defence, gets it away to Wardle. Oh, it's dangerous, and Wardle's through. And Wardle's going to outstrip the full-back and score. Brilliant individual quality from Jake Wardle. But a bit of good work from Smith there just to try and set the defence, and Wardle does the rest. Yeah,
you know, it's all a little bit too easy for Wigan at the moment. They're playing this game on their own terms. Just York haven't really turned up physically or mentally to the battle. You know, and obviously Jake Wardle is such a strike player out on that left edge. Every time, you know, he gets the ball in space, he's so dangerous with the left foot step and the fend. And it's just, like I said, Mark, it's just a little bit too easy. York haven't got off the bus yet.
Yeah, well, here it is, a passage from right to left. Smith just attracted two defenders, and once Wardle's got a one-on-one, he fancies himself just against anyone.
Too easy, and again, you can't give Jake Wardle a play of Jake Wardle's quality time. You know, Jack Farriman gets the ball. York are just sort of sat back waiting, and that's the last thing you can do against this quality Wigan outfit. And Jake Wardle, you know, they're actually numbered up there, York, if you look. And just a one-on-one miss there from Harris. Obviously compounding his early error, they're missing the tackle, and Wigan going to a 10-0 lead.
They do. There's Mark Applegarth, Graham Stedman alongside him. I think it's good that he's got the likes of Graham Stedman, Chris Thorman around him. Bit of experience just to guide him through what is a tough time. Yeah, a really tough time. It's a really tough challenge for Mark. But having somebody with Graham's experience and even Chris Thorman's experience alongside him will help him grow and develop as a coach.
Shot clock off.
There's Kieran looking to add the extras. Strikes it confidently, and the flag's go, and that's just what you want, isn't it? Kieran booting them from the sideline as well. 12 points to 0 here, and this a pretty ominous start for the York Knights. Yeah, just deadly with his kicking boots as well as Kieran. Really impressed with his season so far. He's had a few ups and downs. We're just going to see the try again here. Brad O'Neill linking into Harry Smith, who just had too much time. York are actually numbered up there, but Jake Wardle, you know, it's a really interesting sort of how England are going to go for the left centre this year with Herbie Farnworth, Ash Handley, and obviously Jake Wardle's in fine form too. Yeah, Ash Handley had a great game the other night for Leeds. Oh, here's Field, he's gone racing through, up towards the 40. And York are getting ripped apart early on here. Here now goes Junior December. Takes it forward.
Jack off the ball!
Well, they're just struggling to keep with the Warriors. Here's Eze. Runs at Inman, who stands his ground and makes a tackle. But it's a quick play of the ball. O'Neill will find Farriman, lays it back for Farrell. What a day for him last week. 450th appearance and his 150th Wigan try. Not a bad day out.
He's been some player for Wigan, and he's just missed the consistency.
He is. Here's Thompson. Oh, the offload was on. It's still on. Smith kicks it forward. Ball hit the post, and I think it's safe to try there. Matt Arthur manages to kick it dead, because if that doesn't hit the post, Harry Smith's in for the third try.
I think everything Wigan touching today is turning to gold. You know, Thompson there poking his nose through the line. Again, a lack of physical dominancy from York there, and Harry Smith rolling the ball through, and Matt Arthur just there at the right time.
Yeah, goal line restart will bounce its way. It stands up for Farriman, takes it on the full. He's going to have to take it in himself, and he'll be wrestled down just outside the 30 eventually for Wigan, who are back on the attack here. 10 minutes of domination early on. Here's Thompson again, gets an offload away, finds Smith, finds Nasemba, and he tried to bump off one would-be tackler. And now O'Neill waits. Here's Smith, short pass to Thompson. He's enjoying his opening 10 minutes here in the sun in North Yorkshire. O'Neill finds Smith, finds Field over the top, and it's a walk-in. Noah Hodkinson with a third. Well, it's men against boys at the moment, and the Wigan Warriors are showing York exactly how it's done.
Ruthless, relentless, disciplined, everything Wigan are doing, just the shape and the way that they're attacking things today. You know, Mike Pete and the coaching staff will be unbelievably, proud of this first 10 minutes. As we spoke about this being a potential banana skin, but they've just been so good, haven't they? Noah Hodkinson on the back of his 4 tries last week against Wakefield, and again, just really simple but well executed. Harry Smith plays nice and straight, digs into the line, and we know when Jai Field's in space, we know when Jai Field's got a 3 versus 2 opportunity, 9 times out of 10 he picks the right one, and Hodkinson has a walk-in, and Wigan are on fire.
Yeah, they are indeed. Look, it's not often you were on the end of results like this, but what's the mindset got to be like of York now? It's been a disastrous opening 11 minutes. They can't do anything about that, but what do they do from here?
It's really tough. It's really tough, because I just think Wigan are so well oiled that they're a machine, and the way that they're going about things just makes it so hard for York. Maybe playing 10-minute spells, like let's complete a set, let's keep the ball, kick off and not kick out on the full, complete a defensive set, complete an offensive set, try and get back into the game.
It's not been often they've been blown away, York, but there were just signs last week. They were a tired outfit. You mentioned have not got the biggest squad. They're still missing a lot of key players. They were always going to have times in this season, their first ever year back in the Super League, where it was going to get a bit too fast and furious.
Yeah, and I think that's where the owners and the people in charge of the club have got to hold the nerve and realise that this is a long-term project. This is not, this is not this year. This is 3 to 5 years down the line when York can start to grow and be a better club.
Yeah, the kick waved away, much to the frustration of the Wigan fans. They wanted another 2 there, but 16 points to 0. And it's another pretty simple but pretty effective move from Wigan.
It's just such a well-run, simple play. Harry Smith doing exactly what every half-back should be doing, playing nice and direct, fixing the line, making the York defenders accountable. Junior Nsemba, you've got to put your body in front of him, and it just creates the space for Jai Field to pick the pass.
It does. So a restart gathered. Here is Thompson. And of course, because Wigan are not doing any defending early on, the likes of Thompson got more energy to bring it forward.
Way more energy in the attack when you're not having to sort of front up defensively. You're full of beans when you've got the ball, and we can see that with the Wigan team at the moment. Yeah,
78% possession in favour of Wigan at the moment, who are dominating in every facet right now. And you can see from that stat there, look at that. Line breaks, Wigan well up in the rankings in terms of line breaks. When you look at the strike they've got, that's probably a surprise. They're only 4th, really.
I was surprised they were not first. I did have a look, and I think Leeds are top at the moment, but you expect Wigan to climb as the season goes on.
Well, a pass from Farriman was almost intercepted there. There was a hand on it from Nikhil Williams, and he puts it on the ground, and that means another set of 6 here for Wigan. So Williams just couldn't take that in. Had he done, might have been a chance at the other end.
Yeah, I think he actually made the right decision. I think Wigan had numbers on the outside, so it was probably the right call to go and make this decision. And Kieran was in space there, probably with a 2-on-1 opportunity.
Yeah. Scrum then for Farriman. Here's O'Neill, finds Smith, moves it to Wardle quickly. Wardle pokes his head through the line inside the 40. Game being played predominantly away to our right at the moment. Here now is Partington. Vaughan gets a shot on him. 25 out, centre of the field. O'Neill finds Farriman, back to Sam Eze. Eze plunders forward. Can York survive another Wigan onslaught here? Partington finds Smith. Smith drops it back on the angle here. Is Field. Field will move it to Sam Eze. Eze thought about the pass and then stuck to the day job and takes the tackle. 10 out. O'Neill now will get it away. Farriman has got options. Puts the kick for Kieran, and Kieran scores. Pinpoint kick. There's Kieran to dot it down just in time. And it's another try, a fourth in 14 minutes for Wigan, who are running riot here.
It's a masterclass of a 15 minutes. I think everything Wigan have done, I don't want to say, but it's almost perfection. Everything physically that they've done. And it seems like they're playing the game at a different speed to York. You know, they've got so much time to pick the pass, to pick a kick. And it's we'll see the replay now, and it's Jack Farriman, the one to watch, the player that we spoke about prior. He's just got the ability to make the right decision there, find the pass, but he rolls it through. And it's obviously a play that they've spoke about or talked about in the week. You know, really, really well executed, and Adam Kieran's on the spot to finish it, and it has been perfection.
It has. I asked you, what do York do? Well, you will have been on the other side of it. When you are dominant like this, you must want to play at every opportunity, but that's not what you should be doing, is it?
I think sometimes you just get the feel when it's on. Yeah. And to me, it looks like Wigan have got the feel. I watched Sean O'Loughlin, Tommy Lulawai and Paul Deacon. You know, imagine having them as your coaches, the confidence that you know, must portray to the team, and they're playing like that today.
Here's Kieran then, 2 from 3 to convert his own score. And add another 2 to the tally.
Shot clock off.
Back to normal service, that is straight through the middle, and it is 22 points to 0. Ruthless stuff. Looks so easy, but the kick is so accurate. It's a gift for Kieran.
Yeah, I mean, Kieran's been unbelievable this season, his kicking and the way he's gone about things, but again, we're just going to see the replay there with Jack Farriman. He's just got that ability to be able to pick the right option. This time it's the kick option, and everything Wigan have done today has been pure quality.
Yeah, it has. And it all went wrong off the opening kickoff for York. High restart collected by Wigan. We're already up to the 20 here. Just to put it into context, Yorks have had 2 sets with the ball. We've been playing 16.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's unheard of. And again, but it's just sort of rubber stamping the quality and discipline that Wigan have shown.
Here's Eze, big carry. They're just struggling with the physicality at the moment, and 3 of them can't get him to the ground. He'll play it now. Here's O'Neill, finds Thompson. Thompson dents the line again. York are hanging on for dear life here. O'Neill now wants to run, gets one from Farriman. Farriman's looking at the kick out wide. He's looking for Eckersley. What's the bounce like? Going just too high. Looked for a second. Eckersley was going to be in again there.
And again, that set, Mark, just highlights how strong we're going to carry the ball. Really, really simple. Sam Eze with a couple of carries. Luke Thompson with a carry. They're actually playing nice and direct and moving the ball when it's onto the space. And obviously Farriman then picking the right option with his kicking game. It's just ruthless and relentless.
Yeah, it is. York, just for the 3rd time in this, get their hands on it. And now Wigan can hunt up in defence and put the squeeze on the Knights. It's a real test, both physically and mentally here for York. Here's the stats as we have them so far, and as you'd expect, they're pretty dominant in favour of the Wigan Warriors. Look at that 84% possession. They've only had to make 14 tackles.
Yeah, outrageous. The stats are crazy. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that in an opening sort of 18 minutes.
40-20 effort. Just couldn't get the bounce past Hodkinson, and he'll bring it back. It's not a bad set from York. Now, can they build from there? It is all about small steps for them today. They're up against a Wigan Warriors side that are running red hot. O'Neill finds Kieran. Kieran taken across the chest. Cody Hunter with a tackle. Here now goes Partington. He's slotted in well, hasn't he, now, back at Wigan? Not many leave Wigan and got a bigger and better thing, but he's come back a better player, hasn't he?
I've always liked him, Mark, as a player. I think he always brings the sort of doggedness in the middle. He's a smart player. He can play with the ball in the middle as well, but he's added a different dimension to this Wigan team.
Yes, high kick. Tester for Mataafa on his own line. Goes towards the line. He's actually done well to stay in the field of play there. That could have got a bit tricky. But what a place to turn it over, right on the sideline. 10 off the line.
And this is the discipline we're talking about, Mark. Just Wigan being able to march the ball down the field, and Harry Smith, as we've seen all season, just that ability to be able to put the ball in the corner.
Yeah. We mentioned weight of possession and amount of work that they've had to do, York. Look, they're behind early on, but later on in the game, all this effort is going to run out somewhere, isn't it?
It's probably going to tell its toll later on in the game, and they're hanging in there. They're trying and they're working hard, and you can see, but just a carry there, a one-out carry, no support. It's going to be really hard to break this Wigan defence down without support and people pushing with each other.
Yeah, here's Inman, gets it away. Harris will float the kick over the top, trying to find the grass, but again it bounced up kindly. Hodkinson in perfect position. He'll look to bring it back. Uses field as a decoy, and he gets it back 25 off his own line. And the game just settled down for a little bit, but Wigan, 4 tries in 15 minutes, has blown the doors off York's chances, you feel here. Here's Eckersley now. He's going well at the moment, and fitting that he's included in Brian McDermott's first England squad.
I think he's a huge chance of the World Cup at the end of the year. I think just somebody, he's got size, speed, he's coming through the system at Wigan as well. Such an exciting young player.
Here's Hands again, finds Field. Field couldn't get away from Reynolds. Last one, says Tara Jones. They're going short side. They're going to run it. Here's Nasemba. He gets it wide. Waddle puts it on the toe, but nobody chasing it. And Mataafa, for the first time, is allowed to pick it up and bring it forward. But he's running sideways. Tackled 15 off his own line.
I think that's probably the only time that Matty Pete in this sort of opening 20 minutes will be disappointed. I think they're a really good opportunity again just to knock the ball into the corner, build more pressure. They tried to run it on the last, and it was a sort of a scrappy last play option.
Here's Vaughan. The experienced Paul Vaughan carries it up to the 40-metre line. Walk forward an extra couple, every metre valuable, but then they shell the ball. It's an unforced error, and the pressure psychologically is starting to build as well as physically.
It certainly is, and I was just going to compliment York for actually getting into the grind a little bit. I think we'd seen sort of 4 sets, 2 sets defence, 2 sets offence, and they were starting to get a little bit of a stranglehold on the game. And obviously then Atengano has just come off the bench, sort of makes the error, and you can't do that against this quality Wigan team.
Yeah, and that maybe, as you said, highlights, they're having to play Ngano almost as a forward now. They've got Barnforth and Vatar on the bench, and John Bennison as well, so their bench is light here, and they could have been in trouble. Fields pass, didn't find Wardle, and Hodkinson couldn't pick it up, and they had him on that left-hand side again.
Yeah, they look really, really dangerous on that left-hand side every time they move the ball out towards Wardle. But again, I think Matty Pete and the coaching staff will be disappointed. Just a lack of sort of discipline there, not being able to execute the play, and it's the last 2 sets that have finished sort of sloppy for Wigan.
Yeah, plenty more action today. Don't forget, Dragons against the Bulls, 5:55 from a red-hot Perpignan. As here come York looking to attack. We're down at Castleford. They take on Toulouse tonight, 7:55. Tomorrow, Storm Raiders, 7:05 AM for you early risers. Followed by the Roosters against the Sharks. As Thompson breaks a tackle, finds Williams. Williams was looking for Noel Faluma. He wasn't there, but a rare opportunity here for the Knights. Can they post points? Hunter finds Ngano, moves it along to Harris. Harris short pass, looking to get Reynolds through the line. 5 out, first test then for the Warriors on defence. Vaughan, he'll carry it, turns, spins. Can he find an offload? He does. It's a good one to Thompson. But Farriman scrambled and got to the man. And this now the last one for York. They're going to come here to Hunter. Hunter rolls a kick in, and he's unlucky. Farriman's got it. Farriman gets it away. And here goes Field, only Harris to beat. Turns him inside. Goes past Galliano. He's going to kick out wide. He's looking for Hodkinson. He's looking for Hodkinson. He's got it. What a try. What a wonderful try. Field raced away, ran into the cover, had a look, eyes up rugby league, kick on an absolute penny for Hodkinson, who collects it and goes in. Wow, as you're on the attack, 20 seconds later, they've conceded again.
Oh, that's one of the tries of the season. Talk about a counter-attack. It was the first time York had some joy. They'd moved the ball sideways. They were looking threatening. The ball ends up in Jyfield's hands. He's the last person that you want the ball to end up with. And wow, we're going to see the replay now. The last play option here from Hunter. Rolling the ball through. Jack Farabin realising that Field's on his shoulder. I thought he was going to go the length originally, but just the composure here to see Hodkinson in his eye line, and wow, what about the execution there? And Hodkinson not sit down for his second try. Everything that Wigan have done today has just been unbelievable.
I thought he was going to go on the outside of Harris. I'm surprised he went back in, but once he did, the presence of mind here, the patience from Hodkinson, just wait for the bounce, and he got it.
And I think, again, it's just complementing the vision from Jyfield. We spoke about it on the previous try where Hodkinson scored, and the ability to find the pass. This time it's the kick option. Bear in mind he's just run 60 metres, it's a hot day, but then still be able to make the split-second decision and then execute it. Outstanding.
Absolutely. Here is Kieran from virtually in front of the post here. Well, they're putting on an exhibition, the Warriors. Here's Kieran, slams on another two. Well, they're going at better than a point a minute, but this, no doubt, the best of the tries so far.
Yeah, a real kick in the gut for York. The first time that we've seen them with any chance to attack the Wigan line. And we just see the counter-attack, and it's what Wigan have got. They're blessed with speed, they're blessed with some unbelievable athletes. And Field crabs across the field. And to execute the kick there on the back of that is an outstanding piece of play. And as we've seen with Hodkinson, he's always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, because he's right on the other wing, isn't he? As Field makes the break on the opposite side. December, has he kept it in? Well, he launched it back. I think he lost that in the sun there. And he's done well. And as you said, everything that Wigan touch at the minute seems to be coming up rosy. But December needed every inch of his height there.
It looked like an unbelievable piece of skill. It's a good job he's 6'6". I'm not sure Jyfield at 5'6" would have been able to take it there. Look at the catch there, and the awareness to be able to realise he was going out of play.
Yeah. Here's Farrell. And Wigan have it again. This is ruthless. Partington up the middle.
And imagine being able to bring Bevan French on from the bench.
Yeah, well, there you go. We've just put him on now. Just to add insult to injury, Bevan French. High kick. Oh, drop, but he's got it back, Galliano. He's done well. He's done well, but he might be going back behind his line here. He might be. No, he's tackled in the field of play. Well, they've thrown on Patrick Mago to bash him up in the middle and Bevan French to run it round him. How's your look, York?
And that's just the difference between the two teams. You know, you look at York's bench and the lack of size and creativity, and then you look at Mago, you look at Bevan French. You know, Wigan have luxury players on the bench.
Yeah. Mago, the only ever present. He featured in that big loss at Hull KR. That when they put out the youngsters, he was the one experienced pro that did play. It's nice run here from Hunter. Gets it away to Barnforth. Barnforth has got Mikael Williams with him. French got back to him, doesn't make the tackle. Barnforth still going forward. 20 out, again, better from York. Here now is Hunter, whose pass got it all underway. He'll swing it to Harris. Harris turns it back for Reynolds. Nice footwork, gets him through the first line. Bounces off one tackler. And inside the 10, last one of the Knights got here. Ward will swing it to Harris. Harris moves it to Hunter now. They've got some bodies out the back. Mata'afa gets it away. Can Williams find a pass? No, he goes to ground with it. But better from York, albeit at 28 points to 0 down. Yeah,
we spoke pre-game about York's attitude this year and about how gritty and how determined they've been. And they're showing glimpses of it here. They're showing glimpses of fight and character, which will be pleasing the coaching staff.
Yeah, certainly will. But here now is some fancy footwork from Hodkinson. He's wrapped up. Farrimond in at dummy half finds Mago. And he just rumbles forward, taken down by Vaha. And here now is the next run, and Partington sees Vaha and turned his back, and he rampages down the middle. They see everything, don't they?
Yeah, and again, it's just the physicality there. Patrick Mago, the York player, is unable to put him on his back, plays the ball quick, and Partington exploits the space in behind the ruck.
Yeah, here's a chase, no for Luma. He's got one eye on Eckersley. Ball hits the corner flag. That'll be a 7-tackle restart. So finally, 28 minutes in, York get a bounce of the ball that goes their way.
Nerves of steel there, Nofaluma. You know, waiting for the ball to roll out, and he was so close, Eckersley. And again, just emphasises Wigan's determination and commitment. They're chasing every loose ball.
Yeah, York get it back. Petrol tanks running out quickly for the Knights, but they're showing some spirit here. Here now is Hingano. He'll take it forward. Wigan allow him over the halfway line. Barnforth gets it away to Harris. He's got Xavier Va'a on the inside. Well tackled round his bootlaces. Plays the ball. Here's Hingano again. Tries to get past Nasemba. Ball's on the ground. Picked up by Barnforth. Play on. Here's Mata'afa. Mata'afa into the line. Can't get the pass away. Still got a couple of tackles left here. The Knights. Hunter finds Thompson. Goes route one straight up the middle. Barnforth looks. He's got Hunter to his left. That's where he's going to go now. Short pass. Here is Hunter. Fires it to Nico Williams. Ball's on the ground, and Wigan pounce on it the first time of asking. Yeah,
a little bit of a poor end to the set there. You know, I feel like York, when they do move the ball, when they've got energy, when they've got shape, they are challenging Wigan, but it just looks a little bit slow. You know, they need to do things a little bit quicker.
Yeah. And Kieran more than up for the challenge there. Here goes Hodkinson. Well, he got 4 last week. He's got 2 in the opening half an hour here today. Here's Wardle. Wardle up to the 40. 10 to go to the break. Can York just hang in? Here now is Smith. Finds Bevan French. French gets it to Kieran. Kieran through the gap. Ankle tackle saves a try for now. French collects it. He gets it away. Throws it now to Jay Field. Field's got one in front of him. Barnforth, he's gone round it. Field in on the line. It's like tackling smoke. How can they get hold of him? And Jay Field is over. It's another Wigan try, the 6th of the first half. And when it gets open like that, York just cannot live with the Wigan Warriors.
It's just speed and class and the ability to beat defenders. And, you know, every time Wigan move the ball to the edges, you know, they'll look a real threat. You know, it was a great last-ditch tackle from Nico Williams just to sort of halt Kieran. But that doesn't stop Wigan. You know, we're going to see the ball movement here through Cade Ellis, Harry Smith, Bevan French. The names just roll off the tongue. You know, he did a really good job, Williams, here but Bevan French picks up the loose ball, and York, you can see they're struggling, lacking energy, and that's the last thing you need when Jay Field's got the ball. And he's just got so much speed and ability, and, you know, Mata'afa, who's a really, really good full-back, goes round him like he's not there. It's just too easy, and, you know, Wigan are playing at a different level at the moment.
Yeah, they are. Field, too good. Kieran with another kick right in front of the post. The problem is, it's not like they even need to get near your line to score, is it? They can score from anywhere, this lot.
I think the way they've gone about things, Wigan has been very, very, you know, the game plan and obviously what they spoke about in the week. They've punched through the middle, then they've moved the ball when York are sort of tired or compressed in there, and they've got the ball to the space when it's needed. They've not moved it when it's unnecessary. They've done it at the right time, and every time they do move it, they look such a threat.
Yeah. Here's Kieran. Strikes through another 2 points. 34 points to 0 here, and the threat all over the field. And they are bang on point at the moment. 67% possession for Wigan. Those kind of stats are going to hurt anybody, but they are really damaging York right now.
Yeah, I think we're running out of superlatives to know what to say about Wigan. It seems like we're just saying the same thing over and over again, but it's unbelievable to watch. You know, I think the ability there to be able to beat defenders, it's what our game's about. It's what excites me as a supporter as well. And, you know, they're just doing everything so good today.
Yeah, they are. Here they go then. Here's the youngster. Wow, McDermott into the game, and a shot goes on him. Here's Mago. Not quite as easy to handle. So that was a nice shot on McDermott.
He's got a great name for a front rower. Yes. Barry and Brian hopefully follows in their footsteps.
Well, he'll have some career if he does. Here now goes Ellis up the middle. He wants to play it, does play it. Farrimond in at dummy half. He'll jump out, gets the ball away, so he's gone into dummy half now, isn't he, with O'Neill getting a breather. Here is Jay Field, gets it away to Smith, who just punts the ball in behind Galliano. And that's going to go the wrong side of the post, so a rare mistake from Wigan. York will get it back with a 7-tackle tap restart.
Yeah, just to touch on, you know, Farrimond in the middle there, the luxury for Matt Peat to be able to bring a potential England international off in Brad O'Neill and replace him with Bevan French. You know, they're littered with unbelievable players, and they've probably got the strongest squad in the competition at the minute.
Yeah, at the moment. Here now is Williams. Been busy on this left-hand side. He's made a couple of nice runs. Not had a lot in terms of good ball to deal with. Here's Ngannou, finds Harris. Harris gets it away, ball on the ground, it's picked up, and here's Junior December, and it's a foot race, and it won't catch this fella. He's gone. Junior December crashes over. Well, just check it, didn't touch a Wigan hand before he went to ground, but Tara Jones points to the spot. A big Junior December. Unstoppable at the best of times, but when there's no one in front of him, he's always going to score.
Frightening in full flight, frightening. Such a big human being, and he's, you know, seen him do some damage out there on that left edge. But that was just really simple. Just from York again, just a lack of execution, trying to move the ball off a slow play. The ball, everything's a little bit slow, and just a sloppy pass there. You know, I can understand why York are trying to move the ball. They're trying to go around Wigan, but Wigan are just ruthless at the minute. Every loose ball, everything that is a 50-50 battle or challenge, they're winning and picking it up, and that's the sign of a great team to me.
Yeah, and there have been a couple of those, hasn't there? There's one on the line at the other end when the ball's on the ground. Farrell's the first one to dive on it at 30-odd nil. He's the first one to react. Junior December the first one to react.
And it'd be quite easy winning by 34 for York to be the first there. It'd be quite easy to think this game's easy, it's in the bag. We don't have to scrap and fight for them for sort of 50-50 challenges, but again, that's just for the professionalism and the way that Matty and the staff at Wigan are running the ship there.
Yeah, we know standards are high. There is Matt Peat looking on. Adam Kieran about to take the kick. I saw you having a chat with Tommy Luluai earlier. I bet you don't miss running into him on the field, do you?
We had some good battles back in the day. We were always opposite each other, and some player. And again, just the Wigan coaching staff and the ability to be coached in the week by Sean O'Loughlin, Paul Deakin, Tommy Luluai, the experiences that they've had and been through must be so invaluable for these Wigan players.
Yeah, thank you.
There is Tommy Luluai. He still looks like he could do a shift, in fairness, doesn't he?
I reckon he could do a good 20 minutes and not look out of place.
Yeah. Well, Kieran didn't have the extras there, so it remains 38 points to nil. Matt Peat, well, they've got one of their cups back, haven't they? The Challenge Cup. Eyes now on league leaders. They're chasing down Leeds at the moment. Leeds take on Hull KR this week at Headingley. That should be a cracker, shouldn't it?
Wow, I'm excited for that one. Yeah, huge game.
Yes. Here goes Mago. He runs it forward. And now, here goes Ellis. Slips the ball away.
Oh no! Hold it! Hold, go through.
Farrimond finds Smith. Miss out pass finds Wardle with that shake of the hips again.
Hold together! Keep coming. Hold. Go for it, Tim. So far. Still far.
Here's Ellis. Finds Field. Short pass gets it away to French. Rolls a kick. He's going to chase his own kick. And he's going to get to his own kick. If he gets a bounce, he didn't get one. If that bounced up, he would have been in, you feel. Bevan French just can't quite grasp his own kick.
Just loving the confidence and the way we're going to move in the ball. And the ball started on the left-hand side. You know, I think every sort of pivot player, every spine player with their hands on the ball. And we've seen Bevan French do that a number of times in his career at Wigan. The ability to be able to see the space, just, you know, just the bounce of a rugby league ball, you know, not quite helping him there.
No. The briefest of respite for York, who will be delighted to hear that siren at half-time. Here's Galliano. Ngannou works his way offloads when he's giving it straight to McDermott. Well, you mentioned earlier, Danny, that they're trying to play when they can, but that just never felt like it was on.
I think it's fatigue, and when you're losing collisions and you're not dominant, they're the decisions that you make. And Hingano's made 2 nice, dropped the ball, and then he's looked for an offload that's just not on and put York under more pressure.
Here's Ellis. Farrowman finds Smith. Smith has got Mago. He's kicking over the top for Field. He'll catch it on the full and score. It's an 8th first half try here, and the York players almost fall to their knees. If this was a boxing match, the towel would have gone in by now. The bad news for York, there's still another half to come, and Wigan look red hot, 42-0.
It's almost an exhibition. It's almost an exhibition of how to attack. In every sort of facet, they've been outstanding. And I think, you know, Harry Smith just had so much time. He carries the ball to the line, and it's obviously a set play. I think that's come from Tommy Lulawai, I really do. I think that's come from above. He's realised that the full-back's in the line. You know, Harry Smith gets so much time to be able to decide what he wants to do, and such good execution. We see it again here, and he just carries the ball to the line. A little kick off the outside of his left foot. Perfection. And Jaifield, we all know he's got the speed, awareness, and he puts himself in the right place most of the time, and second try of the game.
Yes. How's this then for a stat? Look at that. Tries conceded from kick. York's top of the pile. Well, they've been pulled apart a couple of times today, haven't they?
Yeah, it's so hard to defend as well, because Wigan they've got so many options around the kick. So it's a pass option, a run option, and a kick option that they can all execute. And you know, they've done it to perfection. Jack Farrimond and Harry Smith today.
And Field. That was a little bit of an unorthodox one, granted, but it's still a try off a kick. And there's another kick. That one's straight through the middle. 44 points to 0. And York are going to wander very slowly towards the halfway line. This has been a dominant 40 minutes, as you will see in the Super League, and this just finishes off in style.
It's worth watching again. I just think the execution and the confidence, you know, they are 40 points up, so it's easy to execute that play. But
well, we'll find out what Mark Applegarth's side have got left, because in that first half they had to do so much defending. Will Matty Peake just be challenging standards and saying, look, keep going, keep going?
Exactly that. Let's not go away from what's been working. 95% completion rate. They've been really disciplined. Do the same again.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out. Here's Xavier VAR with the first carry. He's actually been one of the real bright stars for York. Oh, that's a terrible pass, though. Picked up by Thompson, but they lose ground, and it's unforced errors like that are adding to the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, I feel like it's fatigue. I feel like when you're under pressure and you're not winning collisions, you're losing the physical battle, your decisions become tougher to make, and your execution.
Short pass, nice pass, almost through the gap there. Was Ollie Field, not the 100th York appearance he was hoping for. Here's Cody Hunter, nice run, gets him over halfway. Tara Jones signals the 5th tackle. And here's Ngannou, sends it high. Now this is coming down around about the 30. Jaifield wants none of this. It's batted back, picked up by Wigan. Farrell thought about the big pass and hangs onto it, and Wigan get it back. Yeah,
I just feel that's a really poor end to the set. You know, York had advanced the ball, they'd moved the ball out to the left and had a little bit of joy with a one-on-one. Ngannou needs to kick the ball into the corner. He needs to land it in the 10-by-10 box. You don't want to invite Wigan into this area of the field.
You certainly don't. Hopkinson looking for a hat-trick. Here now is Ellis. Notice that Toa Mata'afa has gone off at half-time for York. So a bit of a reshuffle. No Faluma is at full-back now. As Junior December again stands in a tackle. They can't get him on the ground. Last one. Here's Smith. He's going to send up a tester. And look where that comes down. Inside the 10. No Faluma will take it. He'll look to launch a counter, but he's met by a wall of Cherry and White. Will poke his head over the 10. He's actually done quite well, no Faluma there.
He's been the shining light for York this season. He's so strong out of backfield. But the difference between the last plays, you know, Harry Smith landing it a metre from the try line, Ngannou landing it 30 metres from the try line. That's the difference between the teams at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Here's Galliano, wrestles his way to the 48 tries for him across the season. They've not had a sniff of the line today. Here now is Hingano, finds Hunter, ball on the ground again. And it's picked up by Nicar Williams. Barmforth finds he runs it in. That's a better carry.
I like him, Mark. I like him.
He's a good player, isn't he?
I totally agree with what you said before about him being a shining light. He's a very tough player.
Yeah, I imagine one or two will be looking at him. Former Roosters. All collected by Hingano. It's on the ground, but Patrick Mago picks it up. And Field is away. It's a foot race. He's up against Nofaluma. Jay Field, say goodbye. Hat-trick for Fields. Out sprints the cover. Ball on the ground. And it's a hat-trick for Jay Field, who goes the length of the field. 48 points to nil.
Classic counter-attack again. We talk about York's last plays, and again, it wasn't the greatest kick for the last play. I'd be interested to see how the ball comes out. I think it's Patrick Mago, I think, on Hingano, making the tackle. The ball comes loose. And again, it's the last person that you want the ball to fall to. He's got so much speed. Let's have another look. The ball comes to Hingano. And Mago picks it up there. We probably need to look at that a little bit closer, but, you know, Jay Field's not hanging around to wait for any decisions. He's off, and, you know, he's going to finish that, 99 times out of 100.
You think for a second when he goes to Nofaluma, well, there's a chance he might get him. Does he offload it, or is it pulled out? I thought he'd try to offload it,
I mean, it's obviously the last play. He's looking to get the ball away, to keep the ball alive. I think that's fine. And I thought we're going to have a try confirmed, I assume.
Yeah, Tom Grant is looking at this one in the back play as Adam Kieran is lining up the kick. I think they're going to just check the grounding, so this is going to be okay. Well, David Nofaluma was in his height a speedster over a try every other game in the NRL. He's just been left for dead there.
He's never catching Jay Field. I don't think there's anybody in the competition that's catching Jay Field in clear space. Maybe Matty Ashton. But again, it just shows Wigan's ruthless streak. Any loose ball, any ball that's a 50-50, they're the first to it. And we spoke about half-time. Are they going to take the foot off the gas? That tells me they're not.
Yeah. Here's Kieran then. 11 in from touch left-hand side. 6 of 8. Becomes 7 of 9. And 2 more. It's the 50 up. Well, yes, were Wigan going to be ruthless? They've had one half chance and they've taken it.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the top teams in the competition, the teams that are competing for silverware. Any opportunity, any chance, they take it. And, I see at the moment Wigan are just in this rhythm. They're just in this rhythm and everything's clicking for them. And when you've got a player like Jay Field in space, the inevitable is going to happen.
Yeah. So kick-off is gathered, and here goes Mago. Mago sends them skittling. Thompson held on.
The last thing you want to see after you've conceded a try is that coming towards you.
And then December on the back of it. And as we said earlier, because they've had so little defending to do, they are still full of running. We were at pitch side earlier. It was baking, wasn't it? That was before kick-off.
I just think York haven't took any juice out of Wigan. When they have had the ball, they've come up with errors. They've not come up with great last plays. It's been a little bit too easy for Wigan. And then when they've had the ball, they've been unbelievable.
Yeah. Here goes Smith. Smith waiting for runners. Finds Field. Moves it wide to Wardle. Gets it away. Hopkinson. He's looking for the hat-trick. Oh, they get out of his way. No for Luma. Caught in no man's land, and no Hopkinson makes it a second Wigan hat-trick at the start of the second half. It's so easy for Wigan.
Yeah, just too easy. And it's been the same format. It's been a strong carry from a middle, a strong carry from Ensemba, and then moving the ball to the dangerous edges. That it's not being overcomplicated, but it's just really detailed and really executed. Why wouldn't you want to get the ball to Jake Wardle in space? Again, Harry Smith, just too much time there. And Jay Field picking a lovely cut-out pass. This kid's talented, by the way. This kid is so talented. The confidence, the ability to be able to show the ball inside and then back yourself. I love it. I absolutely love it. And again, Harry Smith, no pressure from the inside from York. Jake Wardle, great hands there. For me, he's putting himself in that left centre for England, and this kid won't be far away too.
Well, it's their mantra to promote from within, and Hodkinson, the latest one. That's 7 tries now in just over a game and a half. Unbelievable.
Imagine as a young player coming into that environment, though, a winning culture and a culture of, of Wigan coming through the system and slotting into a team that's playing with confidence, and he's going to be really hard to displace on that wing.
Yeah, well, if there is a weakness in Adam Kieran today, it's from round about this range. As you see, the 2 he's missed have been on this side, but he just banged one over from here 2 minutes ago. He'll be looking for another one. I think we just watched a replay. 56 points to 0. Well, we're looking at record scores. I know our stats guru Ian Proctor will be thumbing through the history books here, but this is looking pretty ominous now, Danny Maguire.
Yeah, just a really, really well detailed run shape. Everybody's an option, everybody's live, and then you're just banking on your key players to pick the right passes. And Wigan are doing that very, consistently throughout the last month. They've been nailing their opportunities.
Yeah. Here, the high kick. Well, they're going to be 4 off the top. Wigan in 4th. 2 of their rivals meet in round 16. Here goes Mago and an offload on the end of it. Now Ellis. Ellis can get forward. Oh, another great offload. Farriman steps out. Farriman looking for support, still going. Bouncing around. Tries to wrestle off the... Well, he's lost it in a one-on-one. Well, would you challenge that? Was there only one in the tackle, or had Hingano put a hand on him?
I think Hingano had laid a hand. I don't see the captain coming forward for the challenge. But again, what a piece of play from Wigan. 2 offloads, Mago, Ellis. Just that confidence. Confidence is flowing through them.
It is. Kieran, oh, it's another penalty here.
He's got
for a leg lift there.
His legs have gone over. He needs to be really careful.
Kieran okay.
Wait there. Time off. Wait there. Yeah, on
Kieran wants to tap. Gets it away to Ellis. Gets it away now to McDermott. He takes it forward. Early stages of his Wigan career. Short pass, Junior Nasemba trying to power his way to the line. Wardle waits at dummy half. Smith fancied a run, but has to get it away to Farriman. Farriman now will get the ball away to Bevan French. Puts it on the toe. This time he got the bounce, did he? Well, he's grounded. I think he's got it down. Bevan French somehow, just when it looked like the ball had bounced away from him, he gets the arm out and bangs it down, and Bevan French scores the 11th Wigan try. Brilliant.
It's not often I'm lost for words, Mike. I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over again, but they're playing with so much confidence. Everybody's doing the job. They played the ball out here on the left-hand side, and I had a look at the shape, and everybody was just ready to play. It's just unbelievable. Bevan French, what a player. Patrick Mago winning the collision, knocking defenders off, finding some second phase. Jack Farriman feeding Cade Ellis, and again winning the collision, finding an offload, and everybody flooding through, pushing through. That's great to watch. That is unbelievable to watch. And it's just been consistent. They're unlucky there, Nofaluma, but the shape, Wigan have just had great shape all day. And again, Farrimon, they've got so many dangerous players. And we saw him try it in the first half. It didn't quite come off, he didn't get the bounce. But if it doesn't come off first time, try it again. And I love that confidence to roll the ball through. Great execution. Wow.
I'm not sure he even got the bounce there, did he? But he still found a way to get it down.
Yeah, it's just speed, confidence. Yeah, I'm kind of lost for words the way that Wigan are doing things at the moment. It's great to watch if you're a Wigan fan.
Yeah. For all the training and all the coaching that goes into a game, it's very rare it all comes off like this, isn't it?
That's some finish. I'm watching that again there as we're talking, Mark, and like you said, everything is coming off. Everything that they've sort of worked on through the week, and combinations and detail is all put into a sort of 51-minute performance so far, and it's been a joy to watch.
It has. So Kieran couldn't add the extras. Here's the grounding. At this point you think he's favourite, then he took a real kick in the air and he's met it. That was his one and only chance to get it down, and he got it down, and Look at the position from the referee right there on the spot, Tara Jones.
He's actually on the floor parallel when he reaches out with his arm, and to be able to do that, you get split second to make these decisions.
Brings it in.
Hold! Go on.
Short play. Here's Junior December. Trying to wrestle him back. It's just been the first half continued, hasn't it? Here's Mago again. Turns, full of aggression. Well, they put on a bit of a masterclass last week at Wakefield, and Daryl Powell just held these shots and said, what am I supposed to do with that? Well, Mark Applegarth's thinking that twice.
And I think sometimes you've just got to accept it as a coach when a team's performing and playing well and playing at this level. Sometimes you've just got to congratulate it.
Yeah, it's not nice when you're on the end of it, and here it comes again. Miss out pass, Hodkinson's down the sideline. This time no Fulham will get to him. He turned and spun. I thought he was going to go back down the sideline there, Hodkinson. Here now is Smith. They're coming back down the short side. Well, did Junior December get a finger on that? Tara Jones says not. Jake Wardle grounds it. It's another try for kick. And it's only a question here, did Junior December get a finger on it? Referee says not. It's another try, 12th of the day for the Wigan Warriors.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to need to see another angle for that. For me, it looked like Junior December made a play for it. Whether he touched it or not, time will tell. But again, just beautiful ball movement, absolutely lovely ball movement. Again, in this mid-zone, this midfield area, moving the ball to the left. Getting the ball in Jake Wardle's hands. Noah Hodkinson's probably does the right thing, takes the tackle. But Harry Smith, as all good sevens do, we're going to see the movement here again. Harry Smith with options around him. Jay Field pass, finding Hodkinson with a cut-out pass. Probably does the right thing there. Hodkinson takes the tackle, waits for next play. And again, Harry Smith, as all good scrum halves, all good half-backs should be doing scheming. The kicking game's been outstanding. And I think it's fairly clear there that he misses it.
Yeah, he does.
And Wardle, the right man. Again, we see him, Wigan, being in the right place at the right time. That's no fluke. You've got to put yourself there. It takes hard work, it takes commitment. And Wigan have done that, unbelievably well today.
Well, hang on, is that the York? No, that's not the York bench, is it? What do you have to do to make a coach happy these days?
He's a great coach, Matt. He's actually a great lad. When I left Castleford, I actually went and spent a few days at Wigan. So welcoming, such a great environment that they run there, and the success that Wigan are having. Matty is the driving force behind it.
Certainly is. Here's Kieran. Look at that, straight through the middle. 66 points to 0. This, well, I asked the question, would they carry on where they left off? The answer, emphatically, yes.
Yeah, I think York would love the final whistle now. I don't think it's going to get any better for them. And again, we're just seeing the, Harry Smith there, just the ability. I think I love his kicking game. I love his short kicking game, love his long kicking game. And again, he's a real contender for England at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Got 10.
Short kick off, didn't go the 10. Ball's batted back, picked up by Wigan, and they're off. Farriman's racing away. Farriman's going to score. Now there will be, did that get touched within the 10? Because if it did, it will come back, won't it? Farriman is going to score, but they will have to check how that ball came to ground.
We're definitely going to need to see that one again. From my view here, we actually had a really, really good angle. We're almost side on to the kick, and for me, it didn't look like it crossed the plane. It'd be really interesting to take another look. But again, the Wigan players, right man, on the spot, and I think there's no fluke. The bouncing ball, it's a 50-50 challenge. You've got to put yourself in the frame, and at the moment, there's a lot more Wigan shirts in the frame.
Yeah. It's got to go 10. It doesn't. If it goes in the air over the 10, now they may say it did. My gut reaction was that got touched in the 10. Where's Kieran here?
Is that Sam Wood knocked it back there? Is that play on?
It depends who got the first touch. But like I said, play to the whistle.
Yeah, again, Wigan have done that really well today. Every time there's been a loose ball, and for me, that's a team that's hungry and desire. Every time there's a loose ball, they're the first there.
Yeah. Well, Farriman will be open that this counts. Adam Kieran's already lining up the goal. Lining up. Well, they're looking at the grounding, so this is going to be try confirmed, and it is try number 13, and they are coming thick and fast. And a penny for Mark Applegarth's thoughts here. They have run into a juggernaut at full speed going downhill.
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure about the short kick-off, to be honest with you. You know, the 66 points behind. Is a short kick-off the right option there? Not in my opinion. You know, you need to keep Wigan away from your try line. And, you know, I get the reasoning behind that. I get the trying to get the ball back and attack, but for me, that's not the right option, and, you know, it's not paid off for him.
Here's Kieran. Well, he's already helped himself to a try and 9 goals. Slams it through the middle. 72 points to nil, and this now is getting out of hand.
Yeah, it's getting really, really ugly. Now, you know, we're going to see it again. I'm not sure on that option. I'm really not. I just don't think York are in a position to be going for short kick-offs. It shows a lack of, I don't know, hunger and discipline to be able to kick the ball into the corner and defend. And Jack Farriman, as he's getting known as a bit of a poacher, he likes to put himself in the right place, and he's done that there.
Yeah, Chris Radlinski looking on there, looked pretty relaxed with his afternoon out.
I'll be very pleased with the squad he's put together.
Yeah. I'll be very pleased with those youngsters that are coming through as well. Here's Ellis. We mentioned Partington in the first half. What his coming into the side means that Ellis doesn't have to play as many minutes now, which keeps him a bit fresher as well. Yeah,
I think Ellis has been good since he came off the bench, and, you know, that ability again to replace Partington with Ellis just shows the quality that Wigan have in their ranks.
Yeah, it does. The tackle made on halfway. Ball kicked down the sideline, and finally York get it back. And that is the first time in a long time they have had 13 sets in the match.
Wow. You know, they're really struggling for energy now, and that's understandable. All they've done is defend and chase back, and, you know, we really need to see York shape up and try and throw something at Wigan to make Wigan defend a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they've got 6 again, that'll help.
Yeah, it will. Here's Jordan Thompson. Well, I don't think anyone in this stadium would begrudge them a try. Just something. Consolation. We mentioned that run of games they've got coming up. They've got games that they can win. Castleford, Huddersfield, Hull, Toulouse and Huddersfield, their next 5. Here they are on the attack now. Inside the 20 they go. This is almost hallowed ground, but the last time they were down here, they ended up conceding. Here's Thompson. 10 out from the line. Ball now here with Hunter. Hunter gets it away. Nikhil Williams has tried hard. He's tackled a couple of metres short. Ball now goes back to Hunter. Gets it away to Harris. Harris dummies, gets it out wide. No for Luma. Can't get it away. Well, never underestimate the humour of a sports fan. The York fans there were singing "We're in your half." That's about as good as it's got, but again, it's probably just a little bit too slow, Danny.
I just think Mike Peter will be really pleased with that passage of play. Just that, you know, they've not had to defend the line much, Wigan, but they're just working hard for each other, moving, making sure, you know, I'm sure the call from upstairs will be keep York tryless.
Yeah, well, Wigan's Super League record win 84-6 against Bradford 2014. There's the stats, still dominated, absolutely dominated by Wigan, and another offload, but there's a high tackle, so they'll get a penalty instead. That record looks in serious danger now with 20 minutes remaining.
Yeah, just, no, York just very, very scrappy at the moment there, and again, just the collisions, you know, Wigan are just winning the collisions, playing the ball on their own terms, playing at speed. It looks like fast forward when Wigan have got the ball.
Yeah, it does. Here's Mago. Inside the 30 he goes. Ball now here to Farriman. Finds French. Short pass. Farrell. Barely seen the ball in an attacking sense, has he, Liam Farrell, today? Farriman back to Ellis. Ellis, one of the few Wigan players who's not scored this year. He'd fancy one today. Here's Smith, switches play, back to French. French gets it away, Kieran put it down. Well done to Williams, got off the line quickly and put a shot on there. He's done well there, Williams.
Yeah, I think that's the first error that I can remember in the second half from Wigan. Lovely change of play. Harry Smith must throw the ball at least 30 metres back across to Bevan French, and yeah, really well. I mean, I've been impressed with Williams. We spoke about him, we've mentioned him a fair few times. You know, he's had a lot of traffic at times. Kieran's had a go at him a few times, but he stood up to the task well.
Yeah, did well. A rare win for York there defensively. Ball will go in the scrum. Reminder, got a couple more Super League games to come today as well. Catalans Bradford at 6, and then Castleford Toulouse later on tonight. Here now is Wood. Wood takes it forward. NRL as well. Tomorrow, Dragons Bradford tonight, 5:55 Sky Sports Plus, followed by Castleford Toulouse at 7:55. Tomorrow in NRL, Storm against the Raiders is the early game, 7:05 on Sky Sports Action for that one, followed by the Roosters against the Sharks at 9:15. And then we're off to the Brewdog as St Helens take on Huddersfield, and you can get the Bench podcast every Monday. Kick over the top here from Hunter, trying to catch them out. The ball evades them. Our guest on the bench with Jenna and John is Gary Chambers from Warrington Wolves. Well, they chanced their arm there. Hunter came up with a play, but the ball didn't quite go the way of York.
And again, I think Matty Pete and, you know, especially Sean O'Loughlin, the defence coach, we're really pleased the way we're going to move in defensively. And York are having to resort to kicks, you know, to try and catch Wigan out, because they're so strong and, you know, they've been ruthless defensively, even though they haven't had to do a lot of it.
Yeah. Here's Kieran, gets it away. Thompson back into it. Just got a wealth of riches, haven't they, Wigan? Quick play of the ball. Here's Farriman, gets it away. Partington back into it as well. Here now goes Farriman, finds Ellis. Ellis looking to offload, gets it back to Farriman. Farriman looking to play, will find Smith. Field weaving his way towards the sideline. Eventually tackled by Wood. York just looks stunned. Not sure what to do. Here's Partington, short pass, finds Thompson. He gets it away. Beautiful hands. Farriman now. Is he looking for Hodkinson? He was. Ball batted back. But I think it's going to be a knock-on initially from York. They had a hand in it that prevented the pass making its way to Wardle, and is so nearly another try. And now then they've called them offside, Tara Jones here.
Yeah, it's really hard to see what happened there. I think York got a hand to it as Farriman. Again, it was just a little bit too easy for Wigan. It was almost like a training run. Offloads from Ellis. Farriman, as all good halves do, pushing through the line. A knock on there, and then Wood is Sam Wood in front.
Yeah, well, we've got a captain's challenge here, so they are going to have a look at this. York challenging. Why not? They need something, anything, to go their way. But it did look, from our angle there, there's a touch here. Farriman's pass there.
Yeah, definitely.
That to us looked like a knock-on.
And I think if he doesn't make that play, it probably ends up in Jake Wardle's hands, and it's a walk-in for Hodkinson. So it's the right play, and obviously Sam Wood's in front, so I think that's probably where we're looking at the offside.
Yeah, that's the penalty. So Tom Grant, one look, that'll do it. And it's going to be another set, 10 out. Don't think they'll be taking the two, Danny Maguire.
Definitely not. I like how quickly, though, we've done the captain's challenge there. Let's make a decision. Let's get the game back going.
Yeah. It has been a source of frustration, hasn't it, for everyone?
At times, yeah.
Yeah. But you can imagine we get rid of it, and in the biggest game of all, a decision gets missed, and no one can challenge it. So it's there for a reason. Here now is Farriman. Gets it away. Smith, numbers. Oh, he couldn't catch it in December. He's put down a try.
Wow, I think he's probably falling over the line there if he catches that in December. Again, Harry Smith doing everything right there. You know, we're going to see the replay now. Farriman jumping out of dummy half. And then Sember's got Wood 2 metres from line. He's probably going to finish that.
He's taking him with him, isn't he, there? Wood put everything in front of him, but would have needed a minor miracle from that kind of range. Well, doesn't look at the minute as though Wigan are going to reach the highest ever Super League score. That was the Bulls against Salford back in 2000 when they put 96 points on them at Odsal. But the biggest margin is 82-0 set by St Helens last year. So if York can get a try, they might knock that out of the reach of Wigan as well. And they're back on the attack here. Inman finds Hunter. Now Matty Pete will be desperate his side. Do not let York in here. 15 remaining. York will swing it across to Harris. Harris will find Nofaluma. Back to Wood. Wood runs at Nasemba. Almost takes him to the line. He's tackled a metre out. Last one. Nofaluma jumps in at dummy half. Gets it away. No way through there. That maybe wasn't the play needed on the last, but they went for it down the short side and Wigan keep them out.
Yeah, not the option there on the last. He needs to find something, probably either move the ball to the left or find a kick play. But again, I just want to compliment Wigan's attitude defensively. It'd be really easy to just go through the motions defensively. You know, you're winning by 72 points, but turning up for each other, saving tries, that's what the game's about.
Yeah, it is. Ball outside the 20. Here you go, Sam Eze. He got it all going with a try. Finds an offload to Thompson. He barges his way forward. He'll take the tackle. Here they come again to Wardle's centre. Wardle wrapped up this time. Nice one. The tries not quite been as free-flowing in the last few minutes. That bounces off a player and it's play on, and Partington needs some support. Gets it away. Did he get off the ground? The crossfield kick looking for Eckersley, and he's put it down. Well, Wigan just had a couple of chances. It is a knock-on, says Tara Jones. Well, it didn't look like anything was on there, but Smith found a crossfield kick, but Eckersley maybe just switched off for a second.
I think if he catches that, he scores, doesn't it? I'm not sure how the ball came up. Partington, again, we're just talking about Wigan being in the right place at the right time. Any loose ball, Partington with a flick pass. I think if he catches that...
Well, they're going to challenge
Definitely.
this.
We're going to challenge the decision of a knock-on.
They're challenging the knock-on.
5.
So Tom Grant will have a look at this one. Eckersley couldn't take it in. We'll see what happens on this one. Just looking at the simple catch, did he knock it backwards or forwards?
Yeah, my first instinct is that ball goes back, and I don't know if it was the referee was feeling a little bit sorry for the York players and called the error, but for me that goes backwards.
Yeah, well, that's a fair well, the challenge has been deemed unsuccessful here. So,
okay.
Well, there we go. So it will be a knock-on. We had one last night in the OKR game where I think it was Cook dropped it, and every day of the week you think it's a knock-on, but when they actually reviewed it, it did go backwards. Yeah. And I think had Wigan had that been overturned, I don't think you would have had a problem with that, would you?
You know, it's a tough one to call that. Obviously, he's Eckersley's moving forward on the back of it too, so really hard to gauge momentum.
Yeah. Here's Vaughan. He's set about by Partington and Junior Nasemba. Plays it. And it's important here, you know, the likes of Vaughan, etc., experienced campaigners, keep this team together, because this has been a really tough day, a chastening day at the office. They've just got to dust themselves down and look forward to next week in Castleford.
100%. I think you've absolutely nailed it there. They've just got to stick together, realise that they've played an absolutely unbelievable team that are on song. You know, they've got Thompson, they've got McShane, they've got Vaughan, who are experienced players who will keep the team together.
Yeah. They were always going to have this run when they were going to struggle to find wins. It was inevitable for teams into this environment, and it is a tough, ruthless environment. Here goes Hunter now. Is there a consolation here? Good hands. Here's a chance for Williams. Gets the ball back here. Field takes it in. He's going to be tackled just short of the line. Not to be, but again, York showing a little bit of invention. It has to be said, the best stuff they have done is down their left-hand side.
Yeah, I totally agree. Every time they've moved the ball out towards Williams, you know, they've had a little bit of success. And now they just need to front up defensively. Let's not, this game can't go out past 80. You know, there'll be no tries for this last 12. That'll be the message from Mark Applegarth.
Yeah, well, Wigan might want some points last time. Remember, they got thumped at Hull KR, which put a big dent in their points difference, and we know how tight it is at the top. The points difference could be crucial come the end of the campaign.
And it could be the difference between a try, a conversion. We've got Kieran kicking goals from everywhere, and you know, Wigan playing with so much confidence.
Here's Eckersley, dumps the pass back to Kieran. Kieran finds here now for O'Neill. He gets it away. He now finds it wide. Here's Smith. Danger. Oh, there would have been, but it could be a try the other way, but the referee's blown the whistle. The referee's blown the whistle. Now, did York knock this on after the forward pass? Could Tara Jones have maybe just let play go one more passage there?
And again, I think we need to see the replay here to see what. And again, Wigan moving the ball out to this left-hand side, and there's a little bit of space there. I think Harry Smith just loses the ball.
Does Galliano touch it when it goes on here? Does he touch? No, he doesn't, does he? Well, they've run out of challenges.
Wow.
And that maybe might have been a try for Galliano.
I think Hodgkinson was in a position to chase him down, but you know, it's probably the only chance York have had there with clear open space in front of them.
Yeah. That's 2 or 3 chances now Wigan have had, and they've not iced it. We saw December drop the ball near the line. We see there, if that pass goes down, it's probably a try as well. Look, we're being picky because it's been that high quality of performance. There's not been a lot to critique, really, has it? It's been magnificent.
And I think sometimes when you're a really good team, it is the fine moments that you have to dissect and pick out, and I'm sure Matty Pete and his team will be doing that in the week.
Here's a kick from Harris, but the bad news for him, Jay Field's in front of him, and Jay Field gets away, but he's going in goal. Good work from the Knights. Well done from Wood and Reynolds. Long old day, but they're still giving it everything they've got for the Knights shirt.
Yeah, we spoke about it pre-game, about York being gritty and fighting, and you know, this is some of the things that Mark Applegarth will want to see in his team. Harris with a kick, and a great chase from young Reynolds and Sam Wood there to trap Jay Field in goal. And you know, I think we'd all love to see York score a try, wouldn't we? We'd all love to see the effort rewarded with a 4-pointer.
Just inside 10 to go, and they have done well at 72-0 with a quarter of the game left. This could have gone over 3 figures. It looked likely at one point. They've managed to stem the flow. You've got the tough task, Danny Maguire, of getting your thinking cap on for the player of the match. Don't tell us yet, but I don't envy you that one today.
It's a really tough one. I think Wigan have had so many great players out there today. It's really hard to narrow down one individual.
Yeah. Here the ball works its way across. Take it in. 30 out from the line. Here's Inman. Gets it away to Vaughan. Here now is Inman. Inman gets it away to Martin. Hunter getting busy. Gap opens. He's going to score. He's in. They backed off and backed off. And the biggest cheer of the afternoon is for Cody Hunter, who gets a nice first try. And the fans around us go crackers. They've stayed with them. They've realised they've run into an absolute wonderful team performance, when their team do get one back, and Hunter it is. I don't think he could believe his luck.
He was stunned. I think Bevan French was backing away and he wasn't quite sure what was happening, but you are totally right. The York fans, they've been noisy, they've been loud, and finally they've got something to sing and shout about. And Cody Hunter, you know, showing the ball inside, carrying the ball. And again, I think he was a little bit shocked he had so much space, but it's a reward for a really good sort of kick chase there from Sam Wood before trapping Jay Field in goal, and they get the rewards on the back of that with Hunter scoring York's first try of the game.
That's his first for the club, and a consolation. But I think what that does, the fact that there are still so many, no one's gone home in the York round us, and the cheer there's a realism here. They know what's going on here. They can see the bigger picture. This was always going to be a monumental ask. Yeah, they've been up against it from the first kickoff, but their side at least have kept going.
Yeah, fans only want fight, commitment, effort, you know. And I think there's an awareness of where York are at and where Wigan are at. To be honest with you, Wigan are the best team in the competition. They've been one of the most consistent teams for the last 5-10 years, so the York fans are well aware of where they're at, but it's great to see that they've stayed behind supporting the team.
Yeah, and they're getting stuck into the Wigan fans. We're saying, you're not singing anymore. 7 remaining. Hunter couldn't kick the goal. I know it's your first visit here. It's a great little stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think there's a real good buzz around the stadium before. I saw a lot of the Wigan fans in the bar on the side, and yeah, I think the atmosphere has been great, really well supported. The York fans are singing loud, and you know, it's a great stadium. The pitch is immaculate, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Wonderful service. Is there another consolation here for the Knights? Well, I think you'd have got long odds on Wigan not scoring again in the last quarter of the match. But it's York who have the latest try. Will they get the last say? Farrell and Eze make the tackle. And now a penalty, Eze laying on. It's just got a bit scrappy here from Wigan.
Yeah, and I think it's the first time we've seen any fight from York. You know, I think we've spoke about all night about the physical challenge, and rugby league's a physical game. You've got to run hard, you've got to tackle hard, but there's a little bit of fight from Williams there to get up and play the ball, and you get your reward with a penalty.
Here come York. Here's Reynolds. Reynolds with a determined carry. Smith has to work to stop him 30 out. No Faluma. Finds Harris. Here now is Jack Martin, ever present, the Australian this year for York. Inman finds Harris, loading up numbers. Can Hunter find a pass? He does. Here's Galliano. Galliano going for the sideline, and he's in! Second try for the Knights. Galliano, York go back to back. And Galliano over for his 8th try of the season. And York may not have started the best, but they're having a right old crack at it late on.
Yeah, and I think sometimes as a coach, you've got to try and find positives out of a game, and you know, losing by 60 plus points, there's not many positives, but what Mark Applegath will take out of this game is the fight to the end from his players here. It's a really well executed play. Cody Hunter there, Wigan jam and try and shut the play down, but he finds the pass over the top to Galliano, who with no Hodkinson on his back drags him over the line for a great finish. And as you said, Mark, York go back to back, and the fans are happy. The fans are going to leave happy, even though they've been clearly outplayed.
Yeah, they've got the short trip to Castleford next week. Here's John Bennison on kicking duties, looking to add the extras. Couple of metres in from touch, grand final winner at St Helens. And he's pushed that wide. It's trying to curl in, but hasn't quite got the legs. Well, a couple of tries, no goals to add to it, but well, on a day when they couldn't be going in the record books for the wrong reasons, they've found a way to stop that. Credit to them for that.
You've got to give them credit. And again, you know, Wigan have probably put the cue in the rack a little bit. They'll be, you know, probably already thinking about next week. The job's done for Wigan. But again, you've got to find some positives, and the York staff will be looking at the way that York have gone about, especially this last sort of 25 minutes or so. They've competed, and they've been in the tussle and got the rewards at the back end.
Yeah, high kick gathered in goal. Here's Xavier Vaar, will bring it forward. Another good carry as well. Here they go forward again. Well, who would have thought it? Back-to-back tries. Here's Vaughan. They're going to spread play again. Harris gets it out the back to No Faluma. Moves it wide to Wood. Wood gets over the top of Wardle, but Wardle brings him down just short of the halfway line. Harris finds Martin. On halfway again. Still time for another one for the Knights. Here's Harris up the middle, taking on Partington, who drags him down. Well, there's going to be a penalty here. Was that a hit off the ball there? And the referee, Tara Jones, has deemed there was. So all of a sudden, York can't get enough of the ball.
They found energy from somewhere, Mac. They didn't have much energy in that first half when it was in the battle, in the tussle. And again, that's something you'd be disappointed about as a coach. You know, they found the energy at the back end. Where were this in the early part of the game?
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, you know, they're having a real dig. So
yeah, they are.
It's hard to criticise too much.
Yeah. Here is Mikael Williams. He might be going into touch here. No, he's done well to stay in. All over on the far side. Swung back here for Hunter. Finds Xavier Vaar. He bends the line again. He's a handful. I'd be interested whether someone comes in for him during the off-season. Here's Inman, they're going to go over, are they? Oh, inches short of the line. Holyfield it was. But they're lining up, ball's on the ground. Was that played out? Is that going to be a penalty? It is. Well, they've spent an hour and a half wishing it was over, Danny. Now in the last 10 minutes, they don't want it to end.
Mark Applegas asking for extra time.
We'll hear from Mark after the game. He'll be as honest as ever, I'm sure. Here's Reynolds. Well, Matt P might have a few words to say about the end of this game as well. All joking aside. Couple of tries conceded. Here now is Harris. Harris into the line. He's in! Third try in the last 10 minutes. The York Knights are going to send their fans home happy. And it's Harris who scores the try. Well, nobody saw this coming. 3 in the last 10 minutes. And Harris, the latest York Knights try scorer.
Wow. Yeah, again, the York players have found some energy, found some, you know, they started moving, they started supporting each other, they started playing with more tempo on the shape, and we're going to see Harris get the ball there. He's got 2 middles on his outside. You know, poor defence there from Thompson. He's looking out, and Harris just shows the ball and course through and dots it down over the line. And yeah, you know, I'm really pleased for York. I'm really pleased that they've battled away and kept in the game and give their fans something to cheer. But you want to see this at the start of the game, don't you? You want to see this energy at the start of the game.
Yeah, John Bennison adds the extras. 72 points to 14. And credit York. Look, almost mission impossible. Wigan were near perfect. I think they made 1 error in the first half. They led 46 points to 0. They come out, banged over another series of tries, and it's 72-0 an hour gone, Danny. We were getting the record books out, but it hasn't quite panned out that way.
Yeah, we were getting worried. We were getting worried for some record scores, and again, yeah, you've got to credit, you know, the way York have gone about this sort of last 15 or 20 minutes. And you know, Mike Pete will be disappointed. I know he's a perfectionist. I know he demands high standards from his players. So you know, I'm not too sure he'll be happy the way, you know, Wigan have gone about this last period.
Yeah, well, there's 90 seconds left. Can York rustle up another one here? Wigan dominant that first hour, as good as you'll see anywhere on a rugby league field, and they are warming up for the end of season running. They're up to 4th above Wakefield. They've done their points difference of power are good as well here, as Noah Faluma will bring it forward. He's tackled just inside his own 40. Sam Wood gets past Nasemba. He fancies a run. Can he get a pass away? He does. Here's Reynolds. They're flooding through again here, York. Rampant in the final 10 minutes. It's Wigan who are hoping for the hooter now. Here's Harris. Harris digs into the line, finds Ford, who gets away from Farrell. Here's Hunter for a second. Yes! Wow! Does he ground it? Does he get it to the line? Well, if he does, it's going to be 4 in 8 minutes. Where on earth does this come from?
Yeah, I'm asking myself the same question, Mark. I think they've just started to show some energy. You know, they're moving the ball with speed. You know, they've got options around the key players. They've just asked some questions. They've ran with a bit more intent, but it's all too late. It's all, again, I'm going to go back to, you know, I would have loved to have seen this in 9 minutes, not 79 minutes. But again, you've still got to complement some of the shape and some of their efforts here. And it's a great finish there from Hunter. You know, reaching out there and reaching over the line. But yeah, I'm kind of caught in between both. I'm disappointed it's come too late. I would love to have seen a bit more heart and battle at the early part of the game.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what Mark Applegarth will refer to, and we'll hear from Matt Pete at the end of it. Look, well, how good's that? He just posed for a picture up in the stand. His side is still playing. Here's the kick, will be the last kick of the match. The kick is good, and that means that we will have a full-time score here as the siren goes in the background. Matt Pete will look on the first hour as one of his best hours as coach of Wigan. His side were ruthless, clinical, surgical in their attack. But he'll look back at the last 10 minutes and just say, come on, fellas, let's not fall in love with ourselves. But nevertheless, they're up to 4th, Danny Maguire, and that first hour shows just how good this Wigan team is.
Yeah, really professional performance, I think, you know, apart from the sort of last 10 minutes. you know, job done, job done. We spoke about this game being a potential banana skin for Wigan on the back of a Challenge Cup final, a trip to Paris, a tough game against Wakefield. But they've come here and they've played great in that first 60 minutes. They've got the job done. I think Matty Pete doesn't give much away with his expressions. He's very, you know, he's very calm. His persona's very calm, but he'll be a little bit disappointed how the game finished.